So there's some geezer on a horse. He's protecting Slovakia because he's judging by that thing he's got up there. But he hasn't made a very good job of it, because the Danube, as I shall now show, has done quite a lot of the damage to the town. And we're going to have a look at it right now. So Danube is the border between Slovakia and Hungary, and in this part there's an island, so there's two bridges, one which leads to the island from the northern side, which is this one, and there's this metal bridge which dates back to 1892 on the other side of the island. So it's peaceful now, but it certainly wasn't a couple of days ago. A lot of work putting these sandbags in place, and sometimes it's to no avail. But here, I think a particularly good job has been done. You can see that some water is getting through, but a lot less than could have been expected. But it's a terrible job of cleaning up afterwards. There's dirty water contaminating everything it comes into contact with. And sometimes, I read yesterday, for example, there was worries that industrial waste, or kind of maybe sewage, would be contaminating the river, as often happens in cases like this. There was something a few years ago when the Danube flooded. I think it was one of the tributaries in Romania, and that because it was one of the high tributaries, not the river Danube itself. I think it was the Tisha, and that itself then contaminated water along almost the entire length of the river, through various countries, Hungary, Serbia, and Romania, Bulgaria again. The house over there hasn't been constructed yet, and already it's been flooded. I think that this could put off anybody from wanting to finish it. And look at those properties down there. Well, we get a very good impression here of how high the Danube is, Slovakian side, and looking down this way. And although it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's an unfortunate time to be photographing, but we have there the hills which are in the bend of the Danube, which is in Hungary. That's where the river turns, moves south and goes towards Budapest. And bring it around there. So on the Hungarian side of the river, the situation looks rather serious for this building here, which I suspect is something to do with navigation on the Danube, judging by the logo on its side. Got military vehicles there running alongside the road. The road itself seems to be lower than the bank, but the levees seem to have held. Sorry, I apologise, I used an American word. The dikes seem to have held. So fast it is, I think it's very fast. I don't know how fast it normally is, but that seems like a pretty fast river to me. The Rhine actually is a very fast river as well, when you look at it. This part here is the island in the Danube. And the border is up ahead. I'm actually the border control was actually here at one time. Border controls were completely lifted here 6 years ago, just under 6 years ago. I think that's excellent. You see down there, the water's actually broken through a bit. Pretty big Tesco plant. And there's some flood water below it. This magnificent structure. So this went up in 1892, because I know that, because on the 9th of September 1992 a sign has been put up to celebrate the 100th anniversary of this bridge. How about that for reading Hungarian? Well, actually it was in Slovakian, that's how I managed to read it. We can see up there that the bridge there seems to be quite low in the water. It's very low in the water, in fact. Yeah, that's unfortunate for people who ever use that. Well, obviously not living there, but it's probably used to store things. And obviously everything there's now completely ruined. Atmosphere here, which is somewhat reminiscent of a carnival, and I've noticed before in other situations where it's when they realise the water's got as high as it's going to get, and maybe it drops a little bit, and then all the work is over, the hard work of shoring up the defences, and at this moment it becomes a bit like a carnival, and I think that's the atmosphere we've got today of it. Let's have a look down here at the river. There's a quick look at the river. In the place I'm looking at now stands the Komarom fortress, which is the largest fortress, or former fortress in Central Europe, certainly one of the largest in Europe. It's by far the largest fortress I've ever seen. Once could house 8,000 men. It was used as a store for military supplies, built in the aftermath of the 1848 revolutions, and absolutely enormous, and it was still used as recently as 1990 by the Soviet army, which stored huge stockpiles of weapons and ammunition in the former barracks, and as well as the other places. Got a variety of exhibitions in there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see them because it was closed because of the flood. But things which really did interest me, not only the military type stuff, but also had exhibitions of how bread was made, and that sort of thing I find particularly interesting. Unfortunately, it was closed because of this flood. I read in the paper yesterday about a boatload of British tourists, pensioners. I think it was, I can't remember if it was in Germany or wherever it was anyway. It was somewhere where the flooding has occurred, and they were worried the boat wouldn't be able to dock correctly and let them off, and it would lose control in the fast flowing flooded rivers. But the captain said, "Don't worry, I've done this many times before, there's no problem." Nonetheless, the emergency services were on standby. And so this is the Slovakian side. This is in fact before the war, first of all, most of this town was on the northern bank. In fact, on the Hungarian bit of Komarom was only a suburb of this part here. And it's largely Hungarian speaking. I think even today the majority speaks Hungarian first, I think. On the left, we have part of the ship construction yard, which used to be the largest in Czechoslovakia, although Czechoslovakia is not particularly known for being a seafaring state. And but the Danube is a pretty big river. It doesn't run through the Czech bits, but does run along a significant part of the Slovakian southern border. You can see the flooding here. Quite compare the height, the water nearby to the water on the far side. But the sluice gates held it. The greatest danger in times of flood actually comes from water seeping through. It's not water getting over the tops of the dikes, it's water sort of sneaking through below and through. And there's an example. Water sneaked through from, I don't know where, maybe this side, maybe on the other side, but shows what it can do. Notice that the police wouldn't let this gentleman cycle on the pavement. I did also notice in Hungary, many places wouldn't let you cycle on the roads in the towns. So it's rather confusing. Although in a case like this where there isn't much traffic, it's moving slowly anyway, I don't see any problem with being in the road. So there you have it. That's the Danube in flood here on the Hungarian Slovakian border, Komaro. And today, Sunday, the 9th of June 2013.